Hi, AV 2 times in a day. Second time. AV 2 times. When do you get AV twice? We're doing it again. We're doing it again. How are you guys doing? Are y'all ready to talk about brother love? Brother love. We're talking about the Diddy shenanigans, and it ain't good. If you want me to be honest, it's not good. Here's what we know. After November, December, January, February, March, April, after 6 months of silence, we actually have a Diddy document, okay? A Diddy legal document. The plot thickens. Crazy. Listen up. It's ready. We have a Diddy legal document. We haven't seen one of these in a really long time. Since the Cassie complaint, all the things happening with Little Rod, all the things happening in the media, this case is really important. This is my second time streaming today. I debated on whether I was going to do it or not because the data points from the first one weren't that great. Your girl talked about Trump earlier today, and some people were really unhappy to unsubscribe points. And I was like, wow, collect that data. Let's look at it. Right? They're like, you're being, and that's the thing. There are some topics in life, money, religion, and politics, where it's really hard to keep it down the middle without people thinking you're unbiased or biased. In the world of the law, we are trained to look at both sides of the coin. If I look at a credit card, I have a credit card. I'm going to look at the other side of the credit card. I'm not going to flash out my government name, but I'm going to look at both sides of it. E. Capone says, great jacket. Bobby, no, I got my nails done, okay? I got it switched from the freak off nails. We don't have white freak off nails anymore. I cannot wait to see how you guys are doing. I do want to test out this time slot at night for you guys as well, because I know a lot of you guys work during the daytime, and it might be easier for you to check out your favorite YouTubers at night. So we're playing with that too. But yeah, I streamed earlier today on the Trump trial because something happened. And I put it out, and like people were like, you're on the other side. I don't like you anymore. Goodbye. They shots fired. They were like, bang, bang. They were like, bang, bang, AV, we're gone. Goodbye, unsub. And I was like, wow, I literally called that like double side of the coin. Couldn't believe it. But it happens in the world of YouTube. You can't do anything about it. You can never make people 100% happy. The other comment I really loved, somebody was just like, hey, you're nice to look at, but can you get to the point sooner? Damn! Oh my gosh. It was like Brother Love was talking to me. It was like Brother Love was talking. I was like, wow. Just get to it. Nothing about you matters. Get to the point. I'm like, do you know that we hire people? I have an editor that does this for you. It's called 10-minute videos. If you don't like to come to streams, that's fine. We have parties over here. Everybody over here has fun. But yeah, if you don't like the commentary and you just want the straight and dirty version, that's what videos are for. Anyway, I hope you guys are all having a great Tuesday. That was my Tuesday today. I also just want to start the stream off by thanking the people. I did take that last stream down, but I want to thank the folks that participated earlier. There were two important things. I started that off with. One, saying happy birthday to Lady Di, because I missed it last time. And also shouting out Trey, who was a stream sponsor on Saturday. And he also gave a really generous amount today too. So I put him in the banner today. And earlier we had our ultimate stream sponsor, which was Nono. So I put him in the banner as well. If y'all could do me a favor before we start off, because there's so much that I dug up for you. If you can type in Nono, Lady Di, and Trey, that would be fantastic. I want to say happy birthday to Lady Di again. I don't want to hit you guys over the head with it, but over here, community really matters. And when we stream, you don't get this in like, you know, videos. When we stream, this is really about community as well. So if you guys are here tonight, I care about all of you. I'm happy that you're all here. We're going to have a really good time tonight. I've got about 6 things for us to look at. So we're going to have fun. We're going to have fun. Shout out to Little Rock, who I haven't seen earlier today, but Little Rock, good to see you. Shout out to Hey Dot, who's here, who's like, yo, you get a yo. I love it. Trey, is this my Cash App, Trey? Is this the Trey? Oh, no, this is a Tyree. Look at that. This is what light skins do. Ugh. That was bad. Q's Corner says, interesting. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. Sagalina says, let's do this, brother love. We're talking about brother love. Regina's in the building. She's like, where's she at? Girl, the other day, I was like 20 minutes late. People did not have it. Regina. And I actually like this. Regina, the godmother. I love it. She's like, where's she at? Listen, I was 30 minutes late the other day. People were like, I don't care if you're just getting back from the airport. Let's go. Insane. Dayanara is here for the second stream. She says 2 in 1 in a day. Let's go. That's what it's about. Pamela says woo, 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 or wow, wow, wow. One of the two. E. Capone is back in here. Tamika, how are you doing? I haven't seen you in forever, girl. How are you? UFO's in here. UFO, did I just see you in Angry Man's chat? Is he still streaming? It's good to see you. Buckshot says, what were they? I just explained it. POTUS 2024, Save US says, nobody going to jail. And okay. I don't know, POTUS, if that's a good comment or a bad comment. They'll be back. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Hi, Truist. How's your sister? I hope she's doing good. It's good to see you. You guys are laughing. I love your show, AV. Don't listen to any of them. Thank you, Tracy. Tracy, that means a lot on a day like this because I'm trying to stretch myself to do 2 in 1 day. And then everybody really wants me to cover the Karen Reed thing. So I think for the next few days, I might do that. That's why I'm like, okay, if we're going to have these one-off things, let's do them now and then go from there. Thank you guys so much for shouting out. No. Coggy is in the building. See, this is why I like my later in the night crowd. This might be a good data point for us to do things like do this later in the night. And yeah, happy birthday to Lady Di. Wow. Shout out to E. Capone who says, cool jacket. This is a shirt. It's military vibes. Thank you, E. Capone. I really appreciate that. This is your second super chat and second stream of the day. So I appreciate you supporting me. But I really want to go to 2 people real quick before we get started. Shout out to Laverne, a veteran. Okay, isn't this military, Laverne? Doesn't this look, these gives you military vibes? I promise you guys, we're going to go into the Diddy stuff. There's like 6 things. But Laverne, these are like, I'm giving you military vibes, that like the whole honor guard thing. I hope you're doing well, brother. Laverne is a content creator in Texas, guys. He does his thing down there, works on cars. I really enjoy his commentary when he comes up on other platforms. Great brother, and always supports me. Here and there, he pops in, and whenever he does, it's a nice surprise. So, Laverne, I hope you're doing well. Hope you're ready to talk about Diddy tonight. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Really appreciate it. And shout out to JT Coin Rings. Look, these are like clothing coins. How do we feel about these, JT? He says, hello, AV in chat. It looks like we are ready to go tonight, guys. Yes, I did 2 streams, Kagi. I took the last one down because people were not very nice. But let's get going. I think we are going to have a good time because I will need you guys for a few of these things. Number 1, I want to shout out our sponsor. I actually have a brand deal with Chalkboard Candle. Look at this. It says, what does it say? Kagi, it says, that was cute. Right? That is a Fanny joke. It says, that was cute. These are American-made candles, all from natural coconut wax. All right? Hand-poured in the great state of Minnesota. And when you buy one of these candles, what happens? This gives me KS vibes. We're almost at the day, 2 years, guys. But these candles, ceramic, not glass, you could see it on the bottom. I love this company because when you purchase anything from them, it goes back to American teachers. Okay. Part of their profits go to American teachers. That's why I like working with them, because I see that it works for a good cause, or they work for a good cause, right? That candle is on their platform right now. It's in the description box. You can go to Chalkboard Candle and they have a whole candle that says "That was cute" with AV's name on it. But I have a discount code that's 15%. You can buy anything on their website with that code. So it doesn't have to be the AV candle. You can buy some other candles. And again, know that your purchase is going towards a good cause and for good things for the country. That's ultimately what I want. And I just want to work with really good people that do good things. Now, Mother's Day is coming. Most of us wait till the very last minute. I'm going to stress it this week and next week. If you want a great Mother's Day gift, I'm hooking you up. I'm telling you, they call them flights, where you can order like 3 candles with 3 different scents and just order like 3 of them, get 15% off and give it to your mom for Mother's Day. It's April 30th. You have like 2 weeks left. Whether you're a man or a woman, check it out. That's all I'm saying. Check it out. Shout out to Chalkboard Candle. Their information is in the description box. I really want to shout out the people that have already made purchases. You guys have been scooping them up. You have been, and you don't have to do that to support me or this business. I'm very selective with the businesses that I work with. This is one of the first. And I did it for a purpose because I like the fact that they give back. So keep that in mind. Anyway, for the people that are like, get into content immediately, let's start with something funny. I like an icebreaker where we can look at some things. Now, I'm going to risk it because law and crime will often look at people for copyright things. But this was so funny that I actually don't care. And I want you all to laugh because we're friends. Okay? Law and crime has been following this Diddy thing very closely. And that's where I learned that Diddy finally, after 6 months, after the Cassie thing, after so many people have filed lawsuits after the raid, they've been following this thing very closely. Now, this is going to sound bad, guys, but it was really funny to me. And when I saw people that I knew in their comment section laughing at this, I said, okay, we might have to look at this. So they have a podcast called The Sidebar. All right. Let me go ahead and show it to you so we can jump into tonight's content. Starting with the first thing, we're starting with something funny, and then we will get into legal documents. Now, it says the following. Diddy files bombshell motion to dismiss revenge, X, and traffic claims. Let me make it bigger and then we'll go into this. Before we do, I want to set the tone by saying this. What are we looking at? There were many lawsuits filed against Diddy. And when they were filed against him in New York in particular, Cassie's lawsuit was one of 3 that were filed in New York in November of 2023. Cassie's lawsuit was settled in record time the next day. There was also another one that was filed just before Thanksgiving on November 23rd. And that's the case that we're dialing into today. It's this woman named Joy Dickerson. Okay. She claims that Diddy did something to her 30 years ago while she was in college. The caveat is that Diddy filmed it. So that means back then in the 90s, it was on tape. And if it was on tape, then he's sharing a tape. You can't share a cassette. You're sharing a tape. So I hope you guys can appreciate why my editor got very crafty with this thumbnail. I was crying. When he sent this thumbnail, I was laughing so much. I scream laughed when I saw this thumbnail. I said, yes, But that's the thing. So this is on a 90s tape. And allegedly, Diddy was sharing this, shout out to Bobby. He was sharing this VHS tape everywhere and was like, hey, you know, look at this tape. Look at what I did. I wouldn't put it past him. You know, I wouldn't put it past him because after all of these lawsuits, who knows? But I did find it interesting, guys, and I do want you to think about this too. Hi, Christopher Williams. I do want to also let you guys know that out of all of the lawsuits that Diddy's had over these last 6 months, he put a press release out on the Cassie complaint. He has not responded to the Little Rod complaint, and the companies responded to the Little Rod complaint. The lead attorney and I had looked at that one together at the end of the stream. I'll go ahead and put a card up at the top if you want to check that one out. But, you know, when we looked at that, we saw that companies that Diddy's subsidiary companies reported up to, they responded to the complaint, but Diddy has not responded to anything. And can you guys do me a favor before we get to this heat? Can you hit the like button? I mean, when you hit the like button, I want you to know what it does. Not only does it like help me, it helps me feel loved. If you hit the like button, you're showing me some love. You're showing me a little bit of love. But outside of that, what it actually does is it sends the YouTube algorithm a signal that says, hey, this might be a video that other people want to tune into. Likes are free. You don't have to give me $1. I love when people give me super chats and all of that, and you guys ask questions, and we're in here and we try to be unbiased. Some people don't feel that way. That's okay. But when you do that, it actually will open it up for more people to tune in and get this valuable information. So if y'all could do me a favor right now, take 10 seconds out of your time and hit that like button. It would really mean the world. All right. So do that for me if you haven't already. Thank you, really, really. Who's like, I already did it. The Spike knows. He's like algorithmic magic. And E. Capone's like, show my friend some love. Show my friend some love. And I'm going to get to the supers in a second. Jonathan, I see you. I'm going to come to you in a second. But I just want to get this out just so we can talk about it, right? This is the first time that Diddy has legally responded to something. So it really is going under the radar right now because everyone's consumed with other pieces of content or other news. But since the raid especially, this is the first time he's responded to something. Now, thank you so much, Tracy. I love you for that. We're going to go into this because I do want to show you something a little bit funny. It's a little comical. So we were talking about Sidebar here at Law and Crime. I love Law and Crime. We in LawTube use them as the place where all people trial stream. They do have a podcast, and we do have a gentleman here. And I want to make sure that I don't still have it on speed. But when I saw people in their comments section laughing at this, I thought it was interesting. So set up the context. We have the woman that sued him from a crime that allegedly took place in the 90s, 30 years ago. And Law and Crime is reporting on this. And this is Diddy's first time responding. So they're reading the woman's complaint, which I actually have pulled up for us too, for all of us to look at. But one of the first things that they mention, and this is in the woman's complaint, is she talks about talking to a member of the singing group Jodeci. All right? Remember that. I'm going to go back 30 seconds. And this is going to be a fun game. I want you guys to see what you think is wrong with this clip once we play it. And I want you to think about the correct pronunciation of the R&B singing group Jodeci. Then I want you to think about what the speaker said here. And we're going to report back in about 45 seconds and see what you all think. I scream laughed earlier today and looked at the comments, but let's go back. We're going to go back about 30 seconds. Hopefully they don't copyright strike me, but even if they do, it is worth it. All right, folks, let's go.
Escaped the assault because she had been drugged. Plaintiff lacked the physical ability or mental capacity to fend Combs off. It goes on to state, quote, feeling confusion, pain, embarrassment, and shame, plaintiff did not go to the hospital or report the assault to the police and sought refuge in her apartment, avoiding any outside contact. Now, from there, she claimed that Combs actually videotaped the assault and then
Diddy
proceeded to share the tape with other people as a form of revenge porn. Quote,
VHS.
Devontae Swing, a member of R&B group Jodikai, told plaintiff that Combs had filmed himself.
I'm sorry, what? We're going to go back. You all see it on the screen. Devontae Swing, a member of who? Let's hear it again.
Share the tape with other people as a form of revenge porn. Quote, Devontae Swing, a member of R&B group Jodikai, told.
Okay, we're gonna go back. Some people are like, why are you laughing? I'm gonna go back for the cheap seats in the back one more time. I screamed, laughed at this earlier today. 5 more seconds. One more time. Let me make myself small. Christopher Williams season. Oh, Chris. One more time.
Contact. Now, from there, she claimed that Combs actually videotaped the assault and then proceeded to share the tape with other people as a form of revenge porn. Quote, Devontae Swing, a member of R&B group Jodikai, told plaintiff that Combs had filmed himself sexually assaulting plaintiff and had shown the video to Swing and others while working at the studio. Plaintiff asked Swing who had seen the video with other people as a form of revenge porn. Quote, Devontae Swing, a member of R&B group Jodikai, told plaintiff that Combs had filmed.
I'm sorry, Law and Crime. I had to do it. I had to start the stream with that. Ladies and gentlemen that don't know what we are laughing at, the correct pronunciation of the R&B group that Jesse Weber. I love you, Jesse. This is not a hit at you, but the correct pronunciation of Jodikai is actually Jodeci. It's Jodeci, like right here. R&B group Jodikai. So if you look at this video right now, I'm sorry to laugh, guys. Michelle. I'm sorry. Oh my God, RT. So, a member of the R&B group Jodeci, and it's unfortunate, guys, but in the comment section of this video, there's like 700 people that liked it, and they were like, the crime that actually took place here was the pronunciation of Jodeci. Jodeci is the right way to say it. Oh. So we're starting with a little bit of fun, and we're gonna get into business now. Let me look at the supers to make sure I'm all caught up. I think I caught you, Truist. He says you are appreciated, Miss AB, and yes, my sister is doing great. She says hello to you too. Thank you so much, Truist. I hope she caught the Jodikai part. Shout out to Jonathan, who says, good evening. As a trucker myself, I just wanted to tell you that my load has brought me to Atlanta tonight. I'm like 5 minutes from SunTrust Park. Well, I hope you're enjoying your night, Jonathan. I'm in Atlanta for now. I'm moving soon, but it's good to see that you are down here and that you are from SunTrust Park. The weather's great. I hope you really enjoy it while you're here. Shout out to E. Capone, who says, sing us a Jodakaiser. Stop it, E. Capone. All right, let's get to business, guys. Let's girl. Haitian Princess says, I was like, who is Jodakaiser? Lashane. Tamika, you saw that? All right, guys, let's get into business. Let's talk about these documents. And of course, we know who is talking about Mr. Brother Love. You guys know who posted this 20 minutes ago. You know it's 50. You know 50 Cent is all over this. You know he is here. We'll get into that in a moment or two. However, I do want to get into legal documents first. All right. But we will get to this part later. There's some more that I have for you. There's more tea on sis over here. We have more tea on Kris Jenner, who has been hanging out with Diddy. We have more tea on that. I have the original document of the woman that filed this complaint, Miss Joy Dickerson. We have that too. And then lastly, we have the Diddy motion itself, which is where we're going to start. All right. So why don't we start there? It is 59 pages, but you guys know I'm not going to go and torture you and put you through all of that legalese. I will do a few things. I do want to acknowledge this is the first legal document since the raid and since Diddy has been involved with all of these legal issues starting last fall. This is the first one that we have from him himself. Okay, so that is interesting. This is a memo in support of Diddy's partial motion to dismiss the complaint. So he wants this dismissed. Okay, so we have, this is also irregular. Usually in court documents, you will never have an attorney put their stuff up front. It's usually in the back of a document. It's all the way back here. It's all the way like on page 20 or something like that, because we have their exhibits back here. He has it back here too. But the fact that, you know, and this was filed a few days ago, guys, on April 26th, Diddy's trying to explain away all the allegations. But the interesting thing about this is that you see this filed up front. When Lead and I looked at the Cassie thing, we saw that weird block at the front of it where it was just like, this document's going to contain allegations of an essay nature. So you need to be aware of that. You know, you're going to see that here. I almost wonder if an attorney puts their signature at the front of a document. It's either A, they're trying to say, hey, I represent a celebrity and this is a real document, maybe. But number two, I've also never seen a signature at the front of it. So, you know, pointing that out as well, because what we also see is it does say attorneys for defendants Sean Combs. So this is Diddy himself, Bad Boy Entertainment Holdings, Inc. So that's Diddy's company, FKA Bad Boy Entertainment, and Comb Enterprises, LLC. So you have two of Diddy's businesses, all right, in this claim. What we've seen in other law documents is that people have sued not only Diddy, but other record labels that he's been affiliated with. So Love Records is a subsidiary of Motown, and I forget the other one. I think it's like, I forget. It's one of the big four of them, right? But here's the thing. People will sue those big companies because they want to get the liability. Who is going to pay for these damages? Who's going to be responsible for paying off a settlement or paying off the crimes? In this particular document that we're looking at, one of the first that Diddy has responded to, these are all of his businesses. Bad Boy Entertainment, Inc., Incorporated, Combs Enterprises LLC. So I wanted to just point that out to you guys as well. He's actually taking responsibility, we will hope, for what is happening here, at least when it comes to his businesses and who should be responding to this. So, table of contents, we are going to skip. I'll like go through it quickly for y'all. We have a preliminary statement. We have the background. We have their argument, the legal standard, which is the law that they're using. Their first point, so point one, it says that the statutory claims against Combs cannot be applied retroactively. So this means, hey, this woman, even if this happened 30 years ago, and the law that she's using where it happened 30 years ago, because there's a statute of limitations, there is a time clock that runs, and that time clock will typically stop at a certain point. What they're saying is their application, or what Diddy's team is saying, is that the plaintiff's application of the law, and she's using a special law, guys. And I told you about this. I told you about it last fall. I told you about it on the last Diddy stream. I'm telling you about it now. In the state of New York, they had a special law for victims of SA where, from a specific time frame, it did not matter when this happened to you. If it happened 30 years ago, 40 years ago, you can come back within this 1 year period and file the charges against you. Joy, the woman in this particular lawsuit, she filed it on the very last day. And a lot of people don't know about this because Cassie's complaint was filed a week before and Diddy settled it the next day. This woman waited to the very last day until the statute of limitations have run out for her to file something. Now, on one hand, and I know people are like, you're biased because you say this because you look at both sides. I'm going to start with her. If she was a victim of this and has suffered all types of things, number one, going through the experience, and number two, having to deal with the experience, and maybe she was afraid of what the repercussions would be, and maybe that's why she waited until the very last day. And if we go to we're going to flip the other side of the coin, since people are like, you're biased. Let's flip the other side of the coin. Why did you wait to the very last day to do it? Is a question. Number two, Cassie just got paid all this money. So are you trying to get paid too? So there's that. I think that most of us can commonly agree on the fact that Joy Dickerson was one of the people that filed this claim around the time that this was hot, and maybe her attorneys advised her to do so. However, so much has come out since November of 2023 to where we are now. The house got raided. All this stuff is happening. The Little Rod thing came out. All types of shenanigans. It's very hard to believe that this woman is not telling the truth. Now, what I don't like about media is sometimes, like, I think in the moment when she filed this, people are probably like, you're lying. So that very well could have happened. I think now there's so much on Diddy where it's just like, she's probably not lying, right? But pay attention to this. And I'm saying this just from a legal perspective. Why is this the only one that he's responding to? The only one. And I think sometimes when they do this, I'm glad you like it, Cynthia. Sometimes when they do this, when a defendant will respond, it's because they do think the lawsuit is beatable. Think about what I just said. First side of the coin, because I guarantee, I haven't looked at this yet. I guarantee you he's going to say that in here. I guarantee that he's going to say the timing of this is peculiar, right? But this is also filed last week. So Diddy, this is coming after we see Little Rod stuff. This is after the raid. What is your argument, Diddy? What's in here? What are you going to say and why? Why, dear viewer, is this the only lawsuit that he's replied to? He didn't even reply to Cassie's one publicly. This is the only legal document we have in 6 months. crazy. Listen up. This is the only one. Why? Let's find out. So, their first thing is that the claims against the defendant cannot be applied retroactively. So you can't go back years. That's what they're saying. They're saying her point is kind of flawed. The second point that they have is that the claims against the company must be dismissed. And they have 4 sub-arguments, right? They say that the company defendants were not in existence at the time of the conduct. Oof. They say that the company fails to allege any direct misconduct by the company defendants. I'm sorry, the complaint fails to allege any direct misconduct by the company defendants. And the complaint fails to allege vicarious liability. So this is Diddy trying to get his businesses off of it. And then it says the complaint fails to allege any other theory that would impute liability to the company defendants. I can tell you right now, just by looking at these 4 things, that this argument is trying to sever Diddy's businesses from this and just leave him as a defendant on his own. That can happen sometimes. But looking at all 4 of these, it says the defendants were not in existence. Diddy was in existence, but his companies weren't. In the 90s, they're saying that this took place before his companies existed. B, C, and D all are trying to sever liability from the business. But what this complaint is about, what this document is about to do is see if they can sever liability from Diddy in totality. Because if you take 3, if we go up to the top, if you take Sean Diddy Combs, defendant number 1, Bad Boy Entertainment, defendant records number 2, and Combs Enterprises number 3. What Diddy's doing right here is he's trying to take this off and he's trying to take this off. But if you have an issue with 2, are all the defendants flawed? We've talked about that with some of the Trump stuff. Like if you can get some of the people removed, do you get everybody removed? So you see that with RICO sometimes when there's a group of defendants, if you get some defendants removed, can you get all defendants removed? So now for me, this is kind of why I understand why he would take this play, because we have not heard from this man in 6 months. He responded to the Cassie settlement privately. We didn't get a legal document for that. We didn't get a legal document for Little Rod. You know, we got stuff from the other companies, but we have not heard from Diddy himself. This is the first time he's coming out. No pun intended. Let's keep going. So those are the arguments. And argument 2 has a lot against his company. So those 2 second companies. But the third argument is the leave to amend should be denied as futile. So they are coming in hot here, and then they have a conclusion. I'm going to breeze through this, so we're not going to spend a lot of time because I do have something else for y'all. There is a TikToker that is saying that Diddy's private investigators are coming after them, and one of them had the call recorded on TikTok. So we're going to watch that right after this. So you're going to want to make sure that you stay tuned. And of course, you guys know I put timestamps on this. So if you don't like the boring parts, bear with us. We'll get there. Table of authorities. What is that? Usually to help people out, you know, a lot of great attorneys will do this. They will cite all their cases up front. So it tells you like, here are all the cases I'm going to use in alphabetical order. Here's where you can find them. Here is where I've talked about them, and you can go from there. Not everyone does this. Some lawyers won't give you anything, but this is actually beautifully done. So you can tell that Diddy's lawyers are top-notch and courteous, because most people will not do this. If we looked at Tyrone's thing, we didn't see that. We saw it at the end, and some people include it at the end, but when you include it at the front, you see how it's all nicely organized in alphabetical order. That does show that they are serious and they're trying to help the judge and the attorneys find what they need, because it's not in numeric order. So if I wanted to find this 2020 case, this SJ case versus Choice Hotels, I can go to page 8, and that's where they talk about that. So it is nice. They even outline where you can find the laws that they cite. This is nice too. This is nice too. And yes, Brian, just say no to Diddy. Cat told us, just say no. So, but I mean, I will actually be okay and compliment them on this. They did a good job with that. So we've got through a few pages. There is no title up here, so that's already a mistake, but let's see. It says, this memo of law is submitted on behalf of Diddy, Bad Boy, and Bad Boy Entertainment, Inc., and Cones Enterprises. All right. In support of their motion to partially dismiss the complaint dated November 23rd, 2023. That means they want to get rid of it. What does their statement say? Without addressing the complaint's numerous false. Oh, they got hot. They were like, oh, let's get professional at the beginning. The complaint's numerous false, offensive, and salacious accusations, which the Combs defendant vehemently denied. Substantially all the claims purported allegedly by Joy Dickerson Neal cannot survive this motion to dismiss because they were bought under statutes that did not exist at the time that the alleged misconduct occurred, and against corporate entities that were not formed or in existence. Talk about coming in hot. Talk about coming in hot. He starts off by saying, you need to take this case out. Because number one, the laws that she's using didn't exist in the 90s. And number two, my businesses didn't exist in the 90s. Notice he didn't talk about him. That first paragraph, though. Let's keep going. On November 23rd, plaintiff filed a complaint based on purported misconduct that allegedly occurred over 3 decades ago in 1991. Dang, 1991. How old were you guys in chat? How old were y'all in 1991? I don't want to be the youngest one. I don't want to tell you how old I was in 1991. Just type, if you're brave, type in how old you were in 1991. Let's keep going. Plaintiff erroneously maintains that all of her claims are timely under, this is that law I told you guys about, the New York Adult Survivors Act, ASA, which created a 1-year look-back window for claims tied to alleged SA, provided that they were filed by November 24th, 2023. Oh, I love this. E. Capone was 11. TSO said I wasn't born. SC says 21. Ron, you weren't born either. Some of y'all are young. Obi says 21. RT says 15. Reclaiming says 5. Really says 2. In 1990, guys, I'm with really. Shout out to Pro. I was 3'2", bro. I was 3'2". So many, we were all young. Anthony was 12. Jonathan was born in January of 91. Michelle was 20. Dianora was 20. Candace was 2. Alfred was 7. Nate was 20. 1991. Can you guys believe it? She says I was 20, not 2. LM was 4. Really says in them Pampers. Amazing was 30. Bill was 32. Hey, and that's okay. It's a moment in time. I wanted to see where all of us were in 1991. But here's the thing. This allegedly took place 30 years ago, you guys. 30. So, you know, what New York did, and I would love to bring Nate, the lawyer, on here to talk about this particular act, because I know he was a New York cop and a New York lawyer. it would be really good to understand the New York Adult Survivors Act more, because what it says here is that it created a 1-year look back window for claims tied to SA, provided that they were filed by November 4th of 2023. So New York gave people that were victims of this a year to file a claim. Now, it is interesting at the timing because Cassie filed her claim at the very last minute. I do think it's because she was trying to negotiate a settlement with Diddy for a while. He kept saying no, and at the very last minute, she's just like, okay, we're gonna file a complaint and see what you do. And he folded and he paid her the next day, right? This woman maybe thought that she can get something similar. I mean, I wouldn't have, if you had the opportunity, and if somebody really hurt you, it does not, and I hope people don't freaking get mad at me because everybody's gotten mad at me today. If something like this did happen, and it could be a legal strategy to wait to the last minute. Cassie waited to the last minute and had a successful legal strategy doing that. I do think if it really matters to you to get justice, maybe you do it up like a little bit closer to when the statute time opened. But I will say this on the other side of the coin, maybe it could be a legal strategy to wait later. Now, Cassie's lawyers did this well because they were in negotiation. Here, we don't indicate that because here's the thing. If Diddy is going to be coming out like the laws didn't exist back then, you're just doing this at the last minute. If he's blatantly saying some of the things that he's alleging in this document, I don't think, and it does not appear that he wanted to settle with this woman. That's just my legal opinion. Take it if you want. If you're like, I don't agree with you, that's fine, right? It also says the complaint must partially be dismissed for 2 reasons. So Diddy wants this dismissed for like 2 things. Number 1, while the ASA revives certain claims for which the statute has run, the ASA, so the statute, does not permit a plaintiff to revive claims under statutes that did not exist when the purported misconduct occurred. I still think that's weak, but let's go. The 4 statutes underlying the plaintiff's claim were enacted years after the 1991 conduct alleged in the complaint, and they cannot be retroactively applied to alleged conduct absent clear legislative intent. This is an interesting argument. It's kind of like, today, some of the news that broke was like, hey, pot is going to be more loose, right? Think about prohibition. People were drinking before there was prohibition on drinks, right? What Diddy is saying is like, if those restrictions on drinks didn't occur, can you have a drink? And can you penalize people that had given you a drink 30 years later? He's saying if the laws didn't exist back then, why should I be subject to them? It's a little crazy. It's an example. Sometimes these examples go far-fetched. And I know, guys, they sound crazy, but this is what they did to us in law school. It's called the Socratic method. They would give you a scenario that has ridiculous facts, but they're trying to get you to look at it to see if it fits. So thinking of that, does this fit? Diddy is saying if the law didn't exist, I mean, I do think that law existed back then. But if the law to charge companies for that in the state of New York didn't exist back then should the companies be liable? That is what he's saying here. The New York legislature did not pass any intent or purpose for those statutes to be applied retroactively, meaning in the past, before the law was enacted, before they thought about the law. If a crime took place, or in this case, it is a civil complaint, so it's not a criminal complaint. If something took place civilly, if a civil action happened against you in the past, can I charge you for something that happened in the past for a law that is for forward thinking in the future. That's what his lawyers are trying to argue here. Generally, the ASA does not affect the fundamental presumption against the retroactive effect of the statute. Therefore, plaintiff's third, fourth, fifth, and sixth case causes of action must be dismissed without prejudice. So you see, and I talked about this with Boots and the whole Fannie thing. Sometimes, and Boots is doing it like he's trying to chip away slowly, right? What this attorney or what Diddy's attorneys are trying to do right now is they're trying to do a few things. They're trying to get the companies taken off as the defendants and just leave Diddy. And then on top of that, what they're also trying to do is they're trying to get some of the causes of action off. The causes of action mean the thing that the woman is suing him for, the things. So if she has a list of counts, what they're trying to do is they're trying to slim them all off, chip away at them, take them off, right? So if we have a list of 7, if you could reduce them to 2, things like that. That's what we're seeing. And usually when we have motions to dismiss, we need a judge to rule on it. So it actually looks that it looks like Diddy is actually prepared to take this one either to trial or at least in front of a judge to decide if it should be dismissed. He has not responded to the Little Rod complaint. He has not responded to some of the other complaints against him. We will see, the raid has to do with a criminal action, and that's a criminal investigation that's coming from a very high place, a very, very high place. Let's go back here. So their first argument is that because the statutes came after the crime, not even crime, civil action took place, civil cause took place, they should be removed because of that. Second, all claims alleged in the complaint against the company, defendants fail as a matter of law. Tell us why. The company defendants were not in existence. So we talked about this. He's like, these companies, Bad Boy didn't exist when this happened. Bad Boy Inc. didn't exist when this happened. The LLC wasn't in existence when this happened. So how can you sue us if these companies were not in existence at that time? Furthermore, if the company defendants existed at that time, no allegations of wrongdoing are pled against them. Okay, so they're coming at her lawyers for this. This is not good. They're coming at her lawyers for not. Yeah, this is bad. A shout out to Diddy's lawyers. I will only say that once. They're saying they're looking at the way that the document was crafted in November. Joy's attorneys, number one, they're firing, like if you have a firing squad, you're firing at people that are not born yet or businesses that are not born yet. You really should only be firing at 1, but you're firing at 3. So like most of us that are born in the 90s or the late 80s, like we weren't here yet. We were still either in Pampers or we were still somewhere else in the sack. So if there's just one person left, that's out the sounds so bad. That's out of the sack. What do you do with that? You have to fire only at that person because that's the only person that's in existence, right? What this complaint is doing is they're like, hey, plaintiff's lawyers, you're not very smart. And this is actually really an embarrassing complaint, if I'm going to be honest. Almost embarrassing as Jodakai, but this is really embarrassing for them to say that. It's just like, come on, attorneys, you should know this. Right? Finally, no theory, because here's what happens is vicarious liability, that legal theory comes with business law. And that's what the attorneys are trying to allege. Is like, because Diddy worked for those companies, those companies should also be liable. But if those companies didn't exist, can they be liable? Hence, the loophole. The loophole and the pot thickens. Crazy. Listen up. And then the other thing they talk about is piercing the veil. Piercing the corporate veil is another legal theory. But if you need a business legal theory and the business didn't exist yet, do you see how they are coming at this? You see this, guys? It can be pleaded that imputes the alleged SA by the individual defendants onto the company defendants. Accordingly, you see this? Third, fourth, fifth, sixth causes of actions must be dismissed. I mean, they have a point. With prejudice against Mr. Combs, and the second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth causes of action must be dismissed with prejudice against the company defendants. None of these claims can be realleged to state a claim upon which relief can be granted. Thus, it would be futile to grant leave to amend the complaint, even if it were sought out by Dickerson. So that's their argument. They start off with that. Now, are you guys ready for the tea? Here's the tea. The complaint alleges that, and you see how they italicize this? Over 30 years ago, I called it. Over 30 years ago, Dickerson, who was looking to make a foothold in the music industry, agreed to go on a date with Mr. Combs for dinner at a local restaurant in Harlem, where she was a server. Although the complaint admits that Dickerson's memory is incomplete, and nevertheless alleges that Dickerson was intentionally drugged at dinner. She did say this in her complaint, guys. She alleges that she had this drink and she passed out and could not remember anything from that point, which led her to believe that Diddy did something. Did he do it? After agreeing to accompany Diddy after their meal, Dickerson claims that she was SA'd and videotaped at an unfamiliar residence somewhere in New York. In more than 3 decades since the SA, Dickerson, by omission, concedes that no criminal charges were ever lodged against Mr. Combs. Usually that's what is recommended for victims of this type of action, is when it happens, immediately file something. Miss Dickerson notes here that she did not do that. Okay. That's what the lawyers are saying here as well. There's nothing that was filed. Doesn't make it right, doesn't make it wrong. We just know that there is nothing on the record. And there's no allegation that a video recording of the alleged assault is in the possession of anyone or was ever viewed by Dickerson. Now, we know about Diddy to date. Put a 1 in the chat if you think that he did not videotape that joint. And put a 2 in the chat if you're like, AB, come on! That was correct. Listen, he videotaped. He did it. He videotaped. He taped it. I mean, how many other videotapes are there? We have proof. Just years later, we have proof that this man has videotaped countless celebrities that are scared to speak out. Scared. Look at the 2s. Tyree, you were 11. Look at the 2s. We know. On VHS. Thank you, Alfred. That was correct. He had it on tape. VHS, it's not even a phone. It's not an iPad. It's none of these things. He had it on, like, think about the camera. Oh, I don't have anything that I can use to compare to this. Think about a big camera from back then. And if she was drugged, if she's telling the truth, guys, and you know, you be the judge if you think she is. If she's telling the truth, that means that if she was drugged and he sat there and had a remote and was just like, take that. Let me turn that on. And like had Aaron Hall. I don't know if this is the lawsuit that included Aaron Hall or the other one. Yeah. Camcorder. Thank you, SD Dog fan. Camcorder. Shout out to Live from NYC. Oh my God, I haven't seen you for Evs. He says in Technicolor. Yeah, if you filmed it, that even means that you had to get a little cassette. pop it in. And like, I don't know, maybe rewind it and hit the recorder button. If you did that in 1991, when many of us were young, if you did that back then, that had to take some real effort. Candy says busted. Tracy's like, yeah, it had to be played back in a VCR. So Tracy, think about this. Even if he did this, and I'm not saying he didn't, guys, like, please believe me. I'm just saying I want you to understand the time and effort it would have taken to drug someone, put them in a vehicle, take them somewhere else, have this act with them, but the setup process for it, which sounds morbid, but the setup process to set up a big ass camcorder, load the cassette in, hit the button, and like do this thing. But even more crazier is in 1991, if you had this tape and you're circulating it, like you had to put it in someone's VCR to show it to them. Like, oh my God, look at what I did last weekend. Like, it's, hold on, let me rewind it. Look at this pot. You guys know I have the Boston accent. Look at this pot. Oh, let me fast forward. Look at this pot. Like, how? But what I will say she might have an argument on is, even if this tape existed back then and it could have been digitized after the 2000s and shown at that point, that might be something. Because what I haven't seen yet, and what we know from this woman's lawsuit, is that she was in the music industry at the time as well. So while she was in college and working at this place where Diddy picked her up and they had a date, she was interested in becoming a singer-songwriter. So we know that is the same kind of MO that we see with Cassie and a few other people. And being in the music industry, we know that that is a common theme. That is more theory instead of facts, but I just want to say that. So, do you Blockbuster? Blockbuster, my God. You guys remember Blockbuster? You go there, you find a video that you want to rent. We had to rent videos. Now we can just Netflix. We had to rent videos. Oh my God, as a human race, we've come so far. We've had to rent videos. And then, like, sometimes you want to rent, if you're really balling, you want to rent like 3 or 4. And then at the end, you're not at the movie theater because we wanted to save money, but it was kind of the same price if we went to the movies, considering snacks. If we went to the movies, then at the end of the line, like, you know, it almost reminds you of Sephora and all these places where they have all your favorite things and you buy stuff unnecessarily because they're small. When you go to check out, you also see popcorn, candy. You know, it reminded you of your home movie theater. And then were you ever one of those people, almost like a library book, where you had to bring your video back and you were like a day or two late and you got hit with that charge? The shenanigans, it happened. And you did it. Come on, viewer, you did it. You did it. Blockbuster night. Big candy bin, 4 for $5. You guys know what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah. Then you can get video games. Oh my God. In the last 30 years, the way that we can access things is so crazy. If we all wanted to go to Blockbuster, and if it was still in existence tonight, we would be able to get cassette tapes, VHS tapes on Did Diddy Do It? You know, you really could. We would be able to see this. TMC. We would be able to go to Blockbuster right now and get this. The downfall of Diddy. We'd be able to watch it right now. I love you guys so much. I really do. I want to go to a super. I haven't seen this brother in a little bit, so I do want to go to a super. Shout out to High Value Man, who has entered the chat. I gotta give you your song. One of our favorite people has entered the chat.
We have. It's good to see you.
It just got real.
If you guys can type in HVM in the chat, that would be fantastic. Our new stream sponsor, HVM, I don't know if you caught any of this, but we are talking about the shenanigans with Diddy, and we're reading the lawsuit and going back in time to when we're not even talking about DVDs. We're going back to the 90s and we're talking about VHS. So if you guys can type in HVM in the chat, that would be fantastic. I'm having such a really good time with you guys right now. But I do just want to acknowledge HVM for a moment because this is my second stream of the night. And you guys know, I started this with just talking about like sometimes YouTube can be tough. I look at this as an enterprise and an investment, and I'm bringing in experts and whatever I cannot do myself. Sorry, I just got a text. HVM, you're going to love this. I just got a text from Kevin Samuel's daughter. Lovely. I've been coaching her with some things, and she just posted something up on his channel. Guys, if you know who Kevin Samuels is, it's about to be the 2-year anniversary. I'm just texting her back. It's about to be the 2-year anniversary from when we lost him. And so she is learning about YouTube and learning about how all of this works. And I'm really happy to be helping her along with that process because he helped me become who I am today and really think about business, bonds, relationships, all of those things. I'm so proud of her. She's really learning how to keep her father's legacy going. So it's so interesting that you came in at the right moment where we're talking about Diddy and she's working on this, and I'm so proud of her. She has been posting this stuff on Instagram, and she is really learning a lot about YouTube to keep her father's legacy going. So I'm so happy, HVM. That moment just made my night. But what I was going to say is when I'm not helping other people out in my spare time, I really focus on making this thing an enterprise. And when people step out of the frame and share and contribute like this, it means a lot. I had an unfortunate stream earlier today that was a little, with politics, religion, sometimes people could take it personally. I could call it down the middle as much as I want. But it is really hard being a content creator, guys. That's all I can say. So HVM, thank you so much. You are the stream sponsor. I'm going to go ahead and update the banner to you, right, for being the stream sponsor for 300. And I also just want to shout out Nono. Like, it's been you and Nono that have been so consistent. But I also want to shout out Trey. I came back to him because over the weekend I had forgotten one of his Cash Apps. So I wanted to make sure that I included that and made that right. But High Value Man, wow. Thank you so much. But guys, he just stepped out the frame again. HVM is the stream sponsor for 500. If you haven't typed in HVM right now, I really don't know what else to tell you. Like, this is probably my favorite stream of the day. The first one wasn't as fun. A lot of people showed up. We had a great time there. But when I can just be myself with you guys, it's important. And yeah, he says, shout out to KS, mentor to many of us. He really changed lives. He changed mine in particular. Like, when I talked to him, never wanted to be a content creator. Did not want to do this. Would actually have preferred helping people on the back end, like bringing business acumen on the back end, bringing the law thing on the back end, like helping content creators with legal stuff. And HVM, just because I'm just going to read the text message she's sending me right now. This is the first time we've posted anything on Kevin's Instagram. And she's just like, it is absolutely crazy seeing the numbers jump up the way that they are. People miss Kevin. And I don't think she realizes the impact that her dad had. And if there's anything that I can do to help her in that effort, I will do that. But, someone like you that has, and I'm going to tell her the story later. She probably is like so happy right now not watching my stream, but it's one of those things where it's just like, people have impact, guys. Hate him or love him. He had haters too. And that was Cole's. Like, I'm so much nicer than him if there were haters, right? But I'm here with you guys. I'm doing my thing, really enjoying it, really enjoying this YouTube community, really enjoying meeting so many of you guys. But yeah, you're hearing it here first. I'm doing legal stuff, but every first Friday of every month, I'm helping her build an editing team to bring Kevin's channel back to where it rightfully should be. And she's doing that. I'm so proud of her. So HVM. Truist is like, he's doing it big. We already know. Thank you guys so much for, shouting out HVM. Tracy's like, thank you for being you. Thank you guys so much. HVM is amazing. Thank you, Candy. And thank you guys for shouting out The Godfather. If y'all could do me a favor and type in KS in the chat right now, that would mean the world to me. So hard to get it back into the content. But yes, Alfred, look, the highest of the high value. Oh, Salty Balls would love that. Plot thickens. HVM would love that. This because his salty, you guys hate this, but on lead side, there's a gentleman named Salty Balls, and it's typed very strangely. But like that's his username. So we are forced to say Salty Balls. But like he always says it, like he's the saltiest of them all. So I love this, Alfred, who says the highest of high value. This is awesome. Thank you guys so much for saluting HVM and saluting Kevin Samuels. It's amazing. So really good stuff. He ain't even here, but Michelle knows. She's like the saltiest of them all. I love it. Okay. Thank you guys so much for that nice break. That was beautiful. Let's get back to Diddy's shenanigans. Okay. Coming back to this document, right? The complaint makes no factual accusations about the company defendant. So again, these companies did not exist when the woman made the claim. That's Diddy's argument. Notice that he's not negating that he didn't do anything. We're going to keep reading this, but I don't believe we've seen any non-admissions of guilt as far as his part. We will see. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt here, but let's keep going. Okay. The complaint makes no factual accusations about the company defendants and certainly fails to allege any purported essay that occurred in places of business. It is unsurprising because neither the company defendant existed in 1991. We already talked about that when the alleged incident occurred, and the complaint does not allege otherwise. The complaint further alleges that Mr. Combs founded BBE in 1992. 1 year, Bad Boy Entertainment. That's what BBE is, guys. 1 year. I love this attorney. You guys know how Lee doesn't like parentheses? I notice italics. This attorney likes italics. They're like, because neither company existed in 1991, and 1 year after the claimed incident allegedly occurred, and 13 years after the incident occurred. So this attorney likes italics. You can tell how somebody learns to legally write. It's so interesting, right? Finally, the complaint alleges that the company defendants had knowledge. Let's make sure. Yep, had knowledge and were put on notice of the essay allegations made against Mr. Combs from media coverage, which is alleged to have occurred between 2017 and 2013. Long after the alleged incident occurred. Ooh. This is, okay. Let's go back. Finally, the complaint alleges, this is where they're attacking the woman's document. They are saying that the company defendants had knowledge and were put on notice of the essay allegations made against Mr. Combs from media coverage. I don't like this. You see this right here? Those are in quotes. Whenever you're going to attack somebody with a quote, you need to have the full quote. You can't take something from that and not include it. If you are going to do that, the only acceptable way to do it is to include a footnote. We don't see that here. They say the complaint alleges that the defendants, this is what they're doing. You see when you're having a conversation with people and go like this, quotations, had knowledge and were put on notice of essay made against Mr. Combs. They're saying the companies didn't exist, so how could they could have had knowledge or were put on notice if the companies did exist, right? But what I don't like about this is when they are saying they learned about this. They're saying that the woman that made the complaint learned about this from media coverage, which could have occurred between 2017 and 2023. If this happened 30 years ago, she has firsthand knowledge. She's not going to need media coverage to learn about that. But they're saying when she added that into her legal document, when she wanted to attack the companies, it's going to be hard. I think they're saying that she borrowed that from Cassie's complaint. If you just, I miss my buzzer. Maybe bang, 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 bang fits. I think that they are saying that she is borrowing this from Cassie's complaint because how else would she know to attack the companies and not Diddy himself? Because if this is something that Diddy did, you need to sue him directly, not his companies. Typically, people will add in companies if somebody worked there, if they owned the company. But what they are saying is that at the time that this occurred, those companies didn't exist. So in what we just read, the facts, the background, did they admit anything that Diddy did himself? No. They are admitting that the companies had nothing to do with this. And that's why we should dismiss. What's the law that they are using? This is the legal standard. Under CPLR, this might be a New York law. It is. It's a 1994 case. A defendant may move to dismiss a claim if the pleading fails to state a cause of action or where documentary evidence establishes a defense of the claims as a matter of law, right? And deciding whether an action should be dismissed, the trial court must determine if the complaint states a cause of action and if from its four corners factual allegations are discerned which taken together manifest any cause of action cognizable by law. I know that was a mouthful because it came from 1977. Although a court considering a motion must presume the facts pleaded to be true and must accord them from every favorable inference, allegations that consist of bare legal conclusions, here he is with italics, or that are inherently incredible, italics, are not entitled to such consideration, right? A court might, and that's a 2007 case. There's two 2007 cases. Although may consider documentary evidence and affidavits in connection with a motion to dismiss and without the court treating the motion as one for summary judgment. All right, they're giving us a law here. I'm going to skip this because it's getting a little boring. Let's go to their points because here they're using the law that they should be citing. Their points. There are two. I think there are three. Two is meaty. Point one, they say Diddy's defendants cannot be applied retroactively. Again, so they're saying this law came out. When the law is enacted, you can't go to the past and apply it. That's the first argument that Diddy's people are making here. I want to keep going. The second one is meatier. Point two, the claims against the company must be dismissed. He has 4 sub-arguments here. 1, the company was not in existence at the time of the conduct. And I told you guys that. Like, he's trying to slim it down. Number 2, the complaint fails to allege any direct misconduct by the defendant. So the company didn't exist, but what did the companies do? You're not stating that in this complaint. Number 3, the complaint fails to allege vicarious liability. That's how you can get a company and the people that work for them that commit crimes or civil egregiances against people. That's how you do that. But if the company didn't exist, and on top of that, if you can't find vicarious liability and you can't find any direct misconduct by the company, then these are going to fail. That's what they're saying here. Right? And then lastly, the complaint fails to allege any other theory that would impute liability onto the company defendants. So what this complaint is going to do, I want to go to the futile part. I will read that to y'all, but I'm not going to subject you to all this legalese, because in one, they're not telling us anything about what Diddy did himself. This complaint on its face is attempting to get Diddy's businesses off of the case. All right. I'm just going to go back to this because they're like, hey, it can't be applied retroactively. They're saying that a lot of this stuff goes back to 1991. They are saying that she's using modern statutes like a 2024 statute. And they're talking about the history of the statute. So that's why they're saying it doesn't apply. Same thing, effective 2019. Another one that's effective 2024. Another one that's from 2000 that gives you 9 years after it happened. They're basically saying that, like, this one became effective in 2017, which is 26 years after when this thing happened. So they are really fighting the good fight. Not even good fight, but they're just fighting the stance of this happened 30 years ago. It should not be allowed to be brought into court right now. They're using many cases to talk about how to apply something retroactively. So I'm skimming through this because I don't want to take you guys through that. We already went back in time with Blockbuster, right? And that's retroactive application is like our Blockbuster section. Point 2. They also talk about the company's claims must be dismissed because they say the company didn't exist. I think I've beat that over the head, so I'm going to skip that for y'all. They fail to say that any direct misconduct by the company defendants have happened. I'm going to skip through that too, because she's suing Bad Boy, but Diddy did this, right? And before Bad Boy was in existence, that's what she says in the claim. There's no vicarious liability. You need a company for vicarious liability. You do. You need to attach that to a company and an employee. And if the company is not here, then we go from there. So I'm going to skip their point on this. Yeah, they use a lot of case law on that. And they're telling us what respondeat superior means, which is a term in business law. So I can see what they're doing. The complaint fails to allege any other theory. So they're like, okay, we've dismissed all those things. She's arguing nothing else that holds us to this, right? That's basically what that means. A few other cases they're citing. This one, the leave to amend should be denied as futile. It's a lot of logical words. Dickerson cannot establish a claim under any of the 4 statutes upon which she relies because the misconduct she alleges occurred decades before those laws became effective or operative. Further, Dickerson cannot establish a claim against the defendants because, among other reasons, None of them existed when the alleged misconduct occurred. The defects are insurmountable and cannot be cured by any amendment of the complaint. All right. Conclusion. They went really deep into this. But they said, for all the foregoing reasons, the Combs defendants respectfully request that the court grant this motion to dismiss on all respects. Together, such other further relief as the court deems just and proper. So this was filed last week, and these are Diddy's attorneys. Attorneys for Sean Diddy Combs himself, Bad Boy Entertainment Holdings, Inc., Bad Boy Entertainment, Inc., that's the same thing. This is all one company right here, and Combs Enterprises. Now, he has a few exhibits in here. Exhibit A, that's her original complaint. I have that separately, so I'm not going to read it to y'all. What do they have for Exhibit B? Usually those are like pieces of evidence. This is the Dickerson woman's complaint. I do think that she has some tea in here. I'm not going to lie. Like, she talks about exactly what happened. There's some tea in there. So I may read that to y'all. But we're also going to go to some fun things too, because we talked about Jodakai, and I thought that was interesting. Yeah, this is her complaint as Exhibit A. Exhibit B. These look like the business licenses, and they're trying to show the court that Bad Boy Entertainment was established on June 9th of 1992 in New York. All right. So these attorneys are like, hey, here's when these businesses were established before this thing took place. That's Exhibit B. Exhibit C is another one. Combs LLC, 2004, New York. So they're saying all of the businesses she's listing were established after this took place, after this incident took place. And I bet you Exhibit C is the third one. Exhibit D. Ooh, what's this? This is another lawsuit. Notice of motion to amend complaint, oral argument requested. Jean Bellino is the plaintiff against Victor Talicaro, aka Steven Tyler. What's that? Notice of motion to amend the complaint. It's related to this case, and he's brought it in as Exhibit D. Oh, okay. It's a case. It's a Bellino versus Talicaro. It's a memo that they're bringing in. All right, we're not going to go into that, but it's another New York case. And then we have the notice of motion. They want a motion. Same thing, filed on the same day. Oh, it's an affidavit from John Davis, sworn on April 26, 2004, with exhibits accompanying the memo of law and upon prior proceedings herein. Diddy, Bad Boy, and Combs LLC together will move the motion to submit part of the Supreme Court of New York. Okay, there's the address. Oh, we have a court date of June 12, 2024. That's when this, okay, guys, that's when this is going to actually end up in court. So there's going to be the motion to argue whether this goes to court or not. It looks like it is going to be on June 12th, 2024 at 9:30. Counsel can be heard. Kat, are you in New York? Are we going to court, Kat? Are we going to show up at the courtroom, Kat? What are we doing? Steven Tyler. Okay. Anywho, they want to dismiss without prejudice the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th causes of actions against Diddy. They want to dismiss the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th causes of action against the companies, and they want to grant such other relief as the court seems just and proper. Why is Steve? I hope that's not like the Steven Tyler. Can you guys imagine if that was like the Steven Tyler? Are we going to court, Kat? Are we doing it? What are we doing? Quick super chat break. Shout out to Candy, who says, AV, thanks for all. Is my button? Oh, there it is. Candy says, thanks for all you do. Don't stop. We need what you bring. You're awesome, sis. I've learned so much. Thank you so much, Candy. And Candy's in the UK. Candy, what time? Go to bed, Candy. What time? Candy, it's like 3 a.m. there. Go to sleep, Candy. You watch me so late at night. Shout out to Ron Alexander, who says Diddy bought his camcorder from Circuit City. He probably did. And then is like sharing the video with people like, oh, take that. Look at this. Watch this. Watch what I do just now. Like watch what I'm doing. How does he do that, Ron? I don't understand. It's good to see you, Ron. Tax season is over, so you must be getting some relief, right? Except for us late filers that are like, let's get an extension. So I know that you're a little bit less busy. Shout out to Live from NYC with the $20 super. He says, if the businesses were started by funds from Diddy's other or previous businesses, does that matter? Money trail? It is a money trail. For a civil lawsuit, maybe. For a federal lawsuit, yes. Yes. Because that's why I wanted to show you guys the exhibits. They included those business licenses in there for a reason. You know, here's when this happened. We're going to court and, oh, is there more? There's another document in here, guys. Jonathan Davis, PC. Yeah, it just looks like the legal thing for the lawyers. Entity. Okay, sorry. I just wanted to make sure that I was giving y'all correct information. But going back to Live from NYC, if it is a civil thing, maybe. If it's a criminal thing, yes, because you want to follow the money. You want to see where that leads you to. Now, if it's from his other businesses on the civil side, what it could do is kind of ruin the client's case because she's suing him civilly. She's not putting a criminal claim against him because if she does that, guess what? She doesn't get any money. Everybody's like, oh, you know, it's ironic that you're doing this after the Diddy case happened. But now that there are raids and federal things, like we hear from Tyrone Blackburn a lot that there's more coming out. There's way more coming out that we don't know about, right? The last thing I want to show you guys, because I do have her version of the story. It is a little bit stale and dated at this point because it's from November. But Diddy apparently, after the raid, has people. He has a, and I hope that answered the question Live from NYC. He has people, private investigators, that are contacting TikTokers and asking them to stop covering the story. That's what the TikTokers are saying. In the spirit of Kevin, I will tell you that there are bonnets in some of these videos. So I just want to warn you that there is a bonnet that can be seen. It does not negate what the woman in the video is saying, but I just want you to realize that there is a bonnet. All right, that's it. There's a bonnet coming. I'm giving you a heads up. Let's look at what is happening here. Okay, it's a private investigator calling a TikToker, and of course, the TikToker had filmed the altercation. Let's go.
Warning her about the information that she was talking about.
Hey people, before I release anything or play anything for y'all, I need to read this blurb. Georgia makes it a crime to secretly record a phone call or in-person conversation originating in any private place, and yes, one party of the conversation consent. And I have received full consent from Vicky May to play this video for you. So on March 29th, Russell Green, the private investigator mentioned in Little Rod's lawsuit against Diddy, reached out to Vicky May. Yes, the same private investigator who allegedly harassed an 8-year-old for information about her dad. He only reads what she sees and she doesn't add to it. So the video I'm about to play for you is the conversation between Vicky and Mr. Russell Green, the private investigator that Diddy allegedly hired to pursue information about Rodney Jones.
Hi, Russell, this is Victoria. I have your email. I'm good. How about you?
Sorry, I'm just going to slow that down. Sorry, guys. I forget. I'm a YouTuber. I watch everything on 2 speed.
I'm going to slow it down so we can listen to this conversation. And shout out to Live from NYC. That's it. Bonnets frighten me. They frighten me too. But I mean, I wear them. I used to. I don't wear them anymore. I would not wear one in public. Let's leave it there. Let's go.
Uh-huh.
Are you okay to speak with me about that?
Yeah, yes, sir. Uh-huh.
Obviously, we're not in court right now. We're going to be in court at some point. But the information that you're covering, in addition to involving me, is 100% inaccurate.
Sorry for
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I didn't hear you saying anything.
Okay, so is there a reason that you're calling me? Because as mentioned in the video, all of this is alleged, and I made that clear in the video. Nothing is all, as listening to anybody who follows me, they know this is just his version of events. Nothing in this docket is fact nor fiction until obviously it's proven in court. But only thing I did was read what was in the docket. So I didn't insinuate that it was true. I just read what was listed.
Yeah, I just want to caution you as a journalist, as what you're doing, or the entertainment that you're doing. You're actually causing a little bit more harm than good.
I just want to reiterate what's happening. So shout out to Stephanie. Some of you guys have seen this. Let me just reiterate what's happening. This is one of Diddy's private investigators contacting the bonnet lady on the top, the woman wearing the bonnet. And she is a TikToker. And she has covered the Little Rod thing and has talked about it. And she has, like me, just read the legal documents. I haven't seen her content to see if she's done anything outside of that, to see if she's talked about it. But Diddy's private investigator is contacting her and saying, hey, I don't know how she found what the private investigator's name is, but she is now talking about the private investigator, and he has called her privately to talk about it. What did the TikToker do? She goes on TikTok, invites a friend. The friend is the girl on the bottom. The friend is the girl that posted this. And they're listening to the conversation. They're listening to see what was actually said. So we're going to listen to that. And that's the girl that posted this and shared it. And she's just like, I can't believe, he's calling her. But listen to what they're saying, because it is interesting.
And what I want to share with you, I understand you keep using the word allegedly. The problem is that the way that you're covering it sends a different message. And I just want to caution you that this is a very real investigation. This is not entertainment. The text messages that you're covering, the text message, the way that you're presenting it, matter of fact, even what you said was inaccurate. The text message that you're referring to in your story, if you go back and listen to it, doesn't even go with the story that you're giving. It's a different text message.
Sir, I'm not giving anything, sir. I'm reading what's literally on the screenshot on the paper. If there's an issue with how it's written, that would be a question you have with Tyrone Blackburn. He's the one who wrote it. So I'm just literally, and once again, I'm not a journalist. All I'm doing is literally reading what's on the paper and literally reading it to the audience. All of this is public information. I understand why you're calling and you're saying it's inaccurate, which I appreciate. So now I know going forward, you will not ever be mentioned. You're only mentioning that small piece. So I get that part. But I'm not insinuating. Go ahead.
Just listen to me very carefully. Okay. Go back and listen to what you put out there, and then look at the text message that you're referring to. And I will remind you of this. You're looking at a screenshot of something that is incomplete. A lot is incomplete.
Okay, so that yeah, and I get you. And once again, that would be, this conversation would be with Tyrone Blackburn. I didn't write the docket. I only recorded it. Like, I didn't write that.
Well, I understand, but I would hope, and trust me, it's being dealt with Blackburn and judges and attorneys and all that.
Okay.
But again, if you want to have any credibility, not just run an entertainment site. If you want to have any credibility in what you're doing or what you're saying, instead of just saying alleged, you're really going to be mindful and be careful of what you're putting out there and do a little bit more research. If you do a little bit more research, I think it's going to change your opinion, and it's also going to change how you promote what you're doing.
So this is interesting, guys, because I will put a card to this. Lead and I talked about Tyrone Blackburn a little bit, because he was in direct conversations with him, and we received a lot of the court documents either from Blackburn or what was publicly available. As a content creator, I am understanding where she's coming from, because she's kind of like, hey, I'm reading a court document. If you're upset with what's in the court document, you need to go to the lawyer that wrote the court document, right? Because what he's complaining about is a text message. I think this was the text message against Little Rod's daughter. And, you know, that's when he was asking Little Rod's daughter questions, but it's like, it's the daughter. And the daughter's like 7. Why are you texting a 7-year-old questions about her dad in an investigation? That could be why he is interested in this, or maybe he is interested on the Diddy portion of it. But I just want you guys to be mindful of that as we're thinking about it. Because she does have an argument. She's just like, why are you calling me? Are you calling me because I have a large TikTok following and I'm showing the court document? Like, you need to go to the person as a court document. You know, bonnets are bad. I mean, they're so bad more for me. They are bad. I don't even want to like put that out there. I don't own one at this moment. I don't. And it wasn't until like I learned from many men that you guys don't like the look and feel of them. So I'd rather go to bed with a high bun, you know, and have that be like my night look instead of the bonnet. But even with this, like, you know, there's a lot of things here. I'm not going to comment on the piercings. I don't want to do shorty dirty like that. So let's go back to this and listen to the rest of the conversation.
You don't have to do what I'm telling you. I'm letting you know it's 100% fabricated, and all you're doing is recirculating something that's 100% fabricated. And I can't go into any more details about it.
Right, because it's an active investigation. Right, yeah.
But I'm just letting you know. I'm giving you a heads up. I'm trying to help you. I don't have to make this call, but I'm trying to help you. Be very careful with the way that you're promoting this. And just go back and do some of your research. Do some research. You're smart. I see what you're doing. I understand what you're doing. I totally get it. But just because you say alleged, there's still some responsibility that comes with what you're doing. This is not a game, not entertainment. No one's entertainment on your part. This is not entertainment. This is a real criminal investigation. And so if you just take a little bit of time, do some research on the people that you're covering and the validity of what's being said.
I love how these girls are like silently talking to each other during this conversation. They're like, oh, you see that? Oh, I see that too. Like they're silently talking to each other.
You're putting out there, I think you're going to have a much, much better story than what you're putting out there right now.
Yeah, I hear you. And I appreciate the call. You enjoy the rest of your day.
Now, Vicky is a good human being because I would have let this man keep talking so he would have talked himself into some shit. But I do have a couple of questions for Mr. Russell Green. Why not reach out to CNN? Why not reach out to Fox News? Why not reach out to Blackburn? Why reach out to a TikTok? Because to me, you just let us know some things that we didn't know. First and foremost, you let us know that you are actually the PI that Diddy hired. Thank you for telling us because we didn't really know that. It's all alleged right now. But thank you for confirming that for us. On top of that, you also let us know that there are more text messages out there, not just the screenshots that we have on this lawsuit. Really appreciate that information. And now that we know you guys are going to court really soon, that's great information too. To me, it seemed like he was going in a way of trying to intimidate her, trying to get her to change her story, trying to get her to take something down. And I think if Vicky would have let this man keep talking, which I wanted him to keep talking, he would have asked her to do that shit. If you have nothing to worry about and you don't feel guilty in any way, form, or fashion, you would never contact somebody, especially somebody that has nothing to do with the investigation whatsoever. Vicky is not on the lawsuit. All she did was read. But this man felt so compelled to contact her on several platforms to get her to see something different. Sir, if it was 100% fabricated, you wouldn't be calling nobody. But you just gave us some kind of clarity. I appreciate it. So if anybody else gets contacted by this man, by all means, make sure you get a recording of it. And just to let you know, we did try to contact Blackburn and Associates, but nobody picked up. Nobody would answer us. So we just dropped it ourselves. And the one thing I don't appreciate you doing is intimidating my friend or trying to get her to change her mind about something she's seeing on the paper. But that's all the news I have for today, guys. Bye.
Okay. Well, that was it. That was this TikToker's friend that was talking about this Instagram, or not even Instagram, this private investigator that works for Diddy reaching out. Couple notes on that conversation. I think he was reaching out Shout out to Michelle who says, now this head wrap is a hot mess. I mean, what do I do? What do you want me to say? Like, Truist, I mean, there's worse than about it. You know, High Value Man says, what is on her head? I don't know. I don't know. I can't take responsibility for these things. Tyrone wrote this document. His law firm wrote it. And this PI is included in it. What was he complaining about? A snippet where one of his text messages where he texted Little Rod's daughter and was looking for information was included. He's complaining and saying that that was a snippet in there. I bet you that he was protecting himself. Because what is that telling the world? You, as a professional, sent a message to a human that was under the age of 18. He don't want that out there. But if it's in the document, to the girl's point, like the bonnet girl, she didn't write it. She was reading it. If he called me, I didn't write it. I was reading it. You need to take this up with the person that included it. But here's the thing, guys. And me and Lee talked about this. It is very irregular. Look at the law documents I just showed you guys. It is very irregular to see photographs included in law documents. All of those back there, they don't have pictures included in them. Pictures, like with the Diddy team, I just showed it to you guys. They're usually included in exhibits at the end. They're not like just smack dab in the middle. When Lead and I read that to you guys, we saw pictures of Cuba Gooding Jr. Like we saw all types of compromising stuff. We saw little Prada bags with, drugs in them. We saw all types of shenanigans just included in that document. It was a salacious document. And y'all remember Parentheses Man, who fought against it. I think he was representing some of the companies, and he was talking about different things and how Tyrone Blackburn should be disbarred and all types of stuff and all types of shenanigans. Those were their statements, and there were a ton of statements within parentheses. I actually almost dropped merch. Oh, let me get it. Let me show you guys. 1 second. Look at this. I ordered merch samples for y'all. It says parentheses, TLA AV7 2024. I freaking spelled parentheses wrong. I spelled parentheses wrong. I spelled it wrong. What do we... This is it. I bought this for him. Well, not even bought this. This was his sample. I got one for me, one for him, but I can't even give it to him. I didn't even tell him because it's so embarrassing to spell parentheses wrong. But that's what I remember about this case. Yes, Kat? And I looked at it twice and approved it twice. And I was like, manufacturer, can you just give me 2 more samples? I'm going to order so many from you. Can we just do it again? And she's just like, no, I'm sorry. You have to do it at full price. Bang, bang. Oh my God. Don't laugh at me, RT. Yeah, Truist, don't laugh at me. All right. So, that people make mistakes. People make mistakes, and it is. It's like this it's this nice blue slate color. You guys would have loved this. Look at it compared to my Whoop. It's a nice blue slate. It fits really well. It's great quality. I can't, Michelle. I can't. Guys, so, people make mistakes. What can you do? I got that was cute, right? With this one, don't tell them. Can you imagine if we put that up on a merch store and people were buying it and they're like, what what is wrong with you people? I almost ordered a lot live. And I was like, wait, why is it so long? And I'm like, hey Siri, how do you spell parentheses? And it was like, did it tell me? Are you gonna tell me? No, it's not gonna read it out loud. It might be in the kitchen right now. But it was like, I was like, oh my God, how did I like make a typo on a t-shirt? Typo 2024, Alfred. That's right. That is right. Well, guys, listen, I'm getting close to getting really tired. Couple things. Nate, the lawyer. I'm working on Nate. I need to get back to him and find a date for him to come in for us to cover one of these cases. Do you guys want to hear about that City Girl case? I know he's been all on top of that. So I've been trying to get Nate to come in so we can do a stream on that. I'm bringing in Legal Vices so we can do some classic OJ stuff. Editor right now. You did hear that Fani Willis is getting sued by a Georgia lawmaker. Recorded that yesterday. Editor is feverishly working on that for me right now. Hopefully we have that out tomorrow. You guys want me to cover the Karen Reed thing because I'm from Massachusetts. It's a Massachusetts case. If I do it, and let me know right now. Let's do this. If I do this, if I do a trial stream, this is the first time I've done it without lead. If I did a trial stream here every day and watched a trial, put a 1 in the chat if you guys would check in throughout the day. And like, you don't have to watch, I was about to swear, you don't have to watch 6 hours of a live stream, but would you show up for like a live stream, like for a few minutes throughout the day? Put a 1 in the chat if you would show up if I did a trial stream on Karen Reed. And put a 2 in the chat if you're like, AV, I would. I just don't know who Karen Reed is. And is it big enough? Yeah, he has been. He has been HVM. You guys would pop up if I did it? Okay. All right. Eric, I would turn that on and you be my coworker. But you know what's crazy, Eric, is I'm from Massachusetts and I used to live in that town. I lived in Canton. I know Boston cops. I know a ton of people. You guys showed up, and I know Natalie covered it. And Natalie is a criminal defense attorney, works throughout the day. But guys, now that I'm doing YouTube full time, I do have the time to, I can trial stream it. I'm just not scared. I'm just a little reluctant or being careful about it because I don't want to do it every day if y'all are not going to be here. You know what I mean? It would be like, because there's like 200 of you guys right now. And this is because it's not Fanny. If I'm talking about Fanny, it would be like 1,000 people in the chat. Like it just happens. I don't know what it is about Fanny, but people love talking about Fanny. But if there's like 20 people in the chat throughout the day, I don't know if it's worth my time. But it sounds like you guys can do this. And Candy's like, listen, you can't spell. It's all good. Listen. Yeah, I mean, it's good to come back to my roots and cast the iron crowns. Are you from Boston? Are you from Boston? And again, guys, I had just traveled there last week, so I think it would be good. HVM says live coverage is a great way to pick up subs. I mean, yeah, I think it would be good. Glory says, ask Nathan why. I will. G-Funk, you know, I have covered the Trump case earlier today. I might just put it back up. I covered it earlier today, and we got some negative data points. There were like a few people that were like, I'm unsubscribing from you because I didn't like your stance on it. And let's just talk about the news right now. Trump is fighting one of his cases in New York. And this is the Stormy Daniels thing. He got slapped with 9 occurrences of contempt today by the judge. I talked about it because I saw the news. I got on it literally within an hour or two. And I called it down the middle because it's seriously a First Amendment thing. What a lot of people don't know, I've said it on other streams, is I've studied First Amendment law while I was in law school. I, as a nerd, did it as an elective just to learn more about First Amendment. So the First Amendment actually means a lot to me. because whether I was, defending you guys, either of you, dear viewer, if it's you and me, and if I was your defense attorney in a First Amendment case, like that's a really big right that we all have. So G-Funk, I actually did cover it earlier today, and I talked about, in my opinion, and I went like I do with the coin, both sides of the coin. Here's what the judge is saying. Here's why the judge thinks it's fair. Let's look at Trump's argument and let's talk about why it's unfair. A lot of people tuned in the middle when I was talking about the Trump part, and they're like, you're a Trumper. And it's just like, well, if we have a Democratic president in the future, if we have a Republican president in the future, putting a muzzle on the executive right of free speech is a very important message that the country needs to make, a state needs to make, because eventually a case like this could absolutely go to the Supreme Court. And for some reason that got lost in translation. People were like, I'm going to unsubscribe from you. there was probably like 4 or 5 people, and I saw that the algorithm wasn't pushing it. So we did remove it for now. It's not a reason to remove. I don't know if that sounds unfair to you guys. Like, you are all here. You're giving us data points right now. If that sounds unfair to y'all, be honest with me. I won't judge you for it. It's fine. But for people to be like, I love your broadcast, but you were unfair in this. And it's just like, and I might even make a sound for both sides of the coin. I'm like, how? But that's it. The truth of the law. And that's the thing. Like, can you just... Thank you, Truist. I mean, I don't know. It's never not going to happen. And that's the thing. Do we look at the data points? But so much that we're learning about this YouTube algorithm, and I did bring in a researcher. So much about this algorithm is kind of like when you guys go to the stores, it's customer satisfaction. So if there are people that are going to be unsubbing, do you bend to the will of the unsatisfied negative people? Or do we just rock with you guys and talk about fun topics? Politics is always going to hit a nerve with people. Always. But politics and the law, it's almost like as creators, we have to call it down the middle, always. Because otherwise people are going to be like, they're going to ruin your channel with like negative data. I like this cat. She says people will think you're one side, others will think you're another. It always happens. Tamika's like, put it back up. I love it, Tamika. I will. You know what? I'm gonna put it back up. Tyree says, I got a question. What is the investigator? Why is the investigator bothering TikTokers? I hope he's going after everyone, not just the one that's on the screen. I think there are more, Tyree. I think he was going after a few of them. She just happened to record, Miss Bonnet just happened to record it and had her friend reacting with her body on the bottom, right? Yeah, you're right, More. There will always be people that are unsubscribing. It's always going to happen. There is customer satisfaction, which is also customers you want to keep as well. You're right. It's destroyed. I think I'm saying that right. There's a very small amount, but that is, if you're thinking about data and how business work, it's also a very interesting amount, because when you start to study those people, you're like, well, why? What happened? What could be done differently? It helps us create better content in the future. Like even another guy was like, you're really pretty, but get to the content now. Like get to the content now. And I'm like, well, we've solved for that too. Because you know what we do? We pay somebody to make 10-minute videos for you. So you can check those out too. That's what we do. We're investing in your feedback. If your feedback is like, hey, I want faster, I just want you to get to the point. That's cool. I respect that. But go to the videos that have, like, if your attention span is shorter, go to the videos that we curate for you for that reason. People that come to the streams, like, you guys are the best. This is a party. This is a party, okay? We come here because you guys have the time to hang out. Some of you guys work overnights. I can't tell you how many comments where people are like, hey, I have an overnight shift and I love listening to your stuff because it gets me through the night. Or some people are working, or they're, you know, some of you guys are stay-at-home moms or people that are on the go and you're doing laundry and you're doing stuff and you're like, hey, you get me through those tasks. Or if you're cleaning the garage or something, you get me through that task. People like live streams. They do. And some people like shorter content. That's fine. And some of y'all are like, we like shorter stuff. I forgot where I saw it. Somebody just said, have them go to TikTok. Yeah, there it is, live. Short attention span is for TikTok. That's what it is. But YouTube is for people that want to hang out. Y'all have the time to hang out. That's what we do here. We've been here for 2 hours. Sometimes we bring people up. I'm not going to do it tonight because if I have to do the Karen Reed thing, I got to wake up early in the morning to do that for y'all. But if I had time, I would go for like another hour and just bring a few of you guys up and talk about Diddy. That's what we do, you know? So we stream for the AV of it all. I love that, Michelle. That's super dope. Thank you so much. And yes, Alvared, we will do that. Thank you, Valerie. She says, keep on. And that's the thing. Like, I like to get to know you guys as we go, you know, like know more about the people in my community, shout you guys out. Some of you guys are members. Some of you guys super. Doesn't matter, you know, like I just like hanging out with y'all. So this is like the funnest job ever. Know that we take it super seriously. And when I say we, it's not just me. I have members of my team. And when y'all super and support, like that's where that money is reinvested and going. It's not coming to me and, you know, doing all the fun stuff. I'm here as much as I can be. And when I'm not here, I'm doing research or making more videos to bring y'all more heat. You're welcome. Anyway. Look who's popping in at the end. No, back. No, you missed all the Diddy shenanigans. No. Oh my God. Can y'all do me a favor? I was just about to end. Can y'all type? He does this a lot. No pops in at the end. Can y'all type no to the no? Where's your sound? You've entered the chat.
People has entered the chat.
He's entered the chat. No's like, I'm in the building. Guys, I love No. And if I think about, he was there at the first stream that I did earlier today. And No, I was just telling them that we got some little bit of like negativity, not a ton, but a little bit. And yeah, it was just data points towards the end. And No, you were here with me. That I did 2 streams today. This is the second one. And No, you supported in that first stream. I think you did 200. You're doing another 200. And guys, guess who just hit me on the Cash App? All right. No just hit me with another 100. And he says, I'm here. And this is what I mean, guys. That actually just really made my day. You know, High Value Man is in here. No's another one. No and High Value Man are both at $500. And No, yeah, it's 5 because I'm going to count what you did earlier today. You've been with me on both of these streams. You know, this is tremendous support, guys. But this is like, you know, I got off that stream, saw the negative data points. I'm like, oh my God, I'm unsubscribing. You need to get to the point faster. It's just like, you guys don't understand. Like, if I could tell you how many conversations I have with business people about YouTube in a day. I talked to Daryl Eves people today. Daryl Eves, like personal person that helped Mr. Beast grow YouTube. That is how much maniacally focused I am on making this a thing. In my spare time, I'm helping other creators. I'm helping Kevin's daughter. You know, other creators ask me about merch. I showed you guys samples. Like, this is such an enterprise for one person to do on their own. That's why I have help. Coaching the editors to do this, to do that. Man. No, thank you. Same thing. High value, man. Thank you. Scheduling time for Legal Vices to come in. Scheduling time for Nate the Lawyer to come in. Thinking about content ideas. Watching the news. Making sure like something with Fanny doesn't come out. Like it's so much. But like, you know, no, thanks. Like you have no idea. Like earlier, I had the conversation I had with Daryl Eves person. They're like, listen, if you really focus, there's no doubt in our minds, like you'll hit 100,000 this summer. But you got to be focused to do it. People like HVM, people like No, y'all keep me focused. And, you know, both of you guys are new to my community. Seriously, like I can't thank you enough. 11 o'clock at night on a Tuesday. This is what we're doing. Eastern. No, where are you at? What state are you in? But it's, wow, look at this. Look at Big Illinois, who says, I was able to catch 2 live shows in one day. Love your shows. And that's what it's about. I'm really trying to hit this 100K over the summer. And like, I'm trying to show you guys like, as investors of this channel, where your money's going. I'm not going to like hang out, go on vacation, all this stuff. Like I'm working. I'm gonna work. And you guys know, after we do this thing, we're going to take the bar exam. And I will not be very in the best of moods. I'll have books everywhere. Like, oh my gosh, this is not the funnest thing ever. But like when y'all support on rough days like this, No-No's in LA. No-No's in LA. So you and HBM, you guys are on the West Coast. What is it, 7 o'clock there? You guys still have daylight. HBM, yes, I have checked out Robert. I follow him on Twitter, but I will now start checking out his stuff here on YouTube as well. I'm still like learning about everyone. Like for such a long time, it's just been Lead and I in our own bubble. And then we started to come out and like meet everybody. You know, I'm really willing to do a lot of networking, get to know folks, especially folks that grow quickly. You know, some people got on this Fanny stuff. They were milking the udders. You guys know that awkward thing. How do you properly milk udders? I'm not used to holding udders, so I don't know how you're supposed to palm them or whatever. Lead does it right. I don't. But so many people popped on this Fanny thing and like out of nowhere just blew up. I mean, I've been on here, this platform for 2 years. I'm like, oh, I'm just struggling. I'm going to make this happen. I got the best camera, the best lights. And then it's like, finally, I'm able to bring people on to help me. But yeah, I see some of these folks just like blowing up over it. It's so crazy. Nate knows Robert G. Yeah. We're in early communication, so I'll get in touch with him. No, it's 8:28. Okay, it's getting late. It's getting late out there. Thank you both. Let me look at a few others because I see a few people that have hit me up as well. Shout out to Ellen, who became a new member. Welcome, Ellen. Welcome to the community. I do like to post some things for you guys. I thought about posting the community tab, like if you guys wanted me to jump on Karen Reed. I am going to do it because there's so many people that I'm discovering that are working on it. I saw like Emily D. Baker that have been involved with that case. I've seen the DUI guy as well. So that's been fantastic. But I'm from Massachusetts, so I might as well, right, Ellen? I think I should jump on it. I'm just going to look at my phone because Ellen also sent me a Cash App. She sent $10 and she says, wish it was more. Ellen, thank you so much. And even that is sweet in itself. You know, it doesn't matter what dollar you send me. Anything that you send me matters because as mentioned, like it doesn't have to be a big ticket thing. Whenever you guys like support me, like I'm kind of taking the last few minutes of this stream to just talk about some of the trials and tribulations that comes along with content creation. We don't show you guys this because everybody's like, just give us the content, just give us the news. So they want to hear it. But like, this is the day in the life. And one thing that's really important, this is why I like streaming more than the videos, is connecting with y'all. So we can really get to know each other, you know? So Ellen, don't feel bad. Like $10 is amazing to me. That's, you know, like when do people off of the street, they're just like, here's $10, you're amazing. You know, like becoming a member. That's so sweet of you, Ellen. So thank you. Thank you so much. It really means a lot. It totally does. And then shout out to Dianora, another one who says Ace to Bar AV7. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. Ellen's like, hold on, I renewed. That's okay. That's still good. That is still good. Shout out to Joshua who says, AV, you freaking rock, babe. Keep doing what you do and don't ever stop because we need you on this platform more than you'll ever know. You and TLA are needed. Aw, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, Sheila, as well, who says, thanks for your hard work. Alfred says, thank you for giving us a blockbuster night. On that note, guys, I'm going to get some sleep. Few things. One, I want to thank a business sponsor, and that is Chalkboard Candle. Mother's Day is coming. Get your candles, get your little thing, get a gift for your mom, 15% off. All proceeds, not all, a majority of their proceeds go back to American teachers. Can't talk right now. Teachers in Minnesota. This is coconut wax. Lasts forever. Look, we've been streaming and it's still almost towards the top. This thing lasts forever. They did a really good job. Check it out. It says That Was Cute. You don't have to get the That Was Cute candle. It does have my name on it, but you could check out some other things. They have all types of scents, anything you can look for when it comes to candle. Keep them around your house. They're always good to have. So check it out for Mother's Day, 15% off. Link is in the description box below. I want to shout out some very special people. Thank you so much to all the people that showed up. I haven't seen Laverne in a while. JT Coin Rings is in here. Truist is in here. Jonathan dropped me something. Hopefully you find something to do in Georgia tonight. E. Capone always in here. Jodakai, joke of the night. Jodakai was in here. I know a guy. Good to see you. HVM. Shout out to KS. You remind me of him a lot when we talk, you know, just thinking of some of these things. But I'm really happy that you popped in when you did. That was really good. Candy across the pond. Get some sleep, please. Ron, doing the accounting thing. We're past the 15th. So the late people like me that need to file taxes, I know you're helping them. Live from NYC. You've been rocking with me for so long in NYC. So this hit home. Games, was good to see you. No to the no. Another sponsor of the night. No HVM. Thank you so much. Ellen, thank you for your kind words. Dianora, always. You're the best. Guys, with that being said, thank you so much for joining me. If you've watched both streams, thanks. I will put the other one up and I'll leave the negative data points up. Check them out. Check out them comments. Let me know what you guys think. It was so good to see you tonight. Stay safe out there. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.